Hello, sorry, I didn't realise I wasn't live. I thought it was live and I've been chatting away to you. So I must apologise. I'm hoping that you can see and hear me okay now. But yeah, I've been chatting away to you for the past 5-6 minutes, so I must apologise for that. So welcome to everybody who has stayed and hasn't left, wondering where I am. So good evening, Joyty, Nikki, Sherry, Julie's new to the channel. Greenland Quilter Katie's here. Mary G's here. Dawn's here. Brian's here. Welcome, welcome. Denise is here. Mama J. Andrea's here. Joyce is here. Judy's here. Sheila's here. Could you, sorry, give me a second. Could you shut that door?
You started yet? Okay, I was going to ask for your ambassador, but never mind.
Sorry about that. Judy's here. I think I've said that already. Donna Dixon's here. Welcome. Delia's here. Deb's here, the Pug Mama Quilter. June's in the house. Kelly's here. Hello, 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 Linda, Irish Sail Lady. Confident Quilter Gladys is here. Patty G's in the house. Maria's here. So there's a few new faces tonight. I think they might have come over from Katie's channel. Katie said she was going to dump everybody over. Her words, not mine. So yes, so sorry about that. Welcome everybody, and hopefully we'll get started. And I'm hoping that you can see and hear me now okay. So tonight, these are super quick and easy bags. You can use any size of fabric. I've got fat quarters. Let's see if you can see them on the camera. This one I've folded in half horizontally. That way, sideways. So the fat quarter's bigger and I've folded it. So you get a long skinny half. Like that. If I'd folded it the other way, well, it would have been longer and skinnier. It's folded in half. What you do have to be aware of is if you've got directional fabric, you don't want to do this because it would be on its side. Depending on some of the directional fabric. Ideally, you want non-directional fabric because I'm going to make a big bag as well. And the big bag, you would normally do this way, but this is directional fabric. So it's going to be a wide bag, not a deep bag, if that makes sense, so that the fabric's going in the right direction. But this is one of the quickest bags you can make for reusable Christmas bags. They don't all have to be lined and perfect. And, you know, you think about wrapping paper, it's often a minute. You just want something that covers the present. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you want hours and hours of sewing. So these are fat quarters that I've had for ages. And they're by the Craft Cotton Company. I'm assuming there's probably a UK equivalent, a US equivalent, but I don't know. But in the UK, they're sold by the Craft Cotton Company. Just plugging the iron in. So yeah, it's been hectic today. It's my mum's 80th birthday today, so Evie and I were out with her earlier. And I need to set up my sewing machine because it's got the wrong coloured thread in it. And I did think I was going to be sewing with grey thread, and then I picked pale fabrics were my preferred choice tonight, so it's back to the white thread. So just bear with me a second while I thread the machine, and then I'll turn the camera around and you can see what I'm doing. I didn't even get time this week. I was hoping to get time to sort out and finish sewing the bags that I did last Saturday, because they're all cut and ready to sew. I got one done on the live last Saturday night, and I wanted to have the other ones all done to show you this week. I've got a couple of bags done, and I can quickly show you. This is a cheats method again. I used felt for this one, and I used the template from the pattern that I had last weekend by Notches. So I think it's Notches Sewing. Used the template, but instead of lining it, and this one's made it felt, but you could make this out of ordinary fabric. I just, the line that I cut out, I just stitched, I don't know if you can see that on this camera better. I just stitched around it. I should say, before I did that, I cut it out with ordinary. I had ordinary straight lines, not the zigzag pink lines. And I cut out 2 channels, and I pinked the edges of the channel, and I sewed a channel onto each piece of felt. And then I sewed round the edge, leaving the bit with the channels open at the ends, didn't sew that together. And then I just cut round it with pinking shears, and that was it. So it was literally a sort of 10-minute bag. And you could do that with ordinary fabric. It doesn't have to be with felt. Felt's great for it, but because it's a bit thicker. But it could just be ordinary fabric. Because I did that one on Lisa's live on Friday, the awkward quilter. And I didn't line that one. I just did the outside pieces of fabric. And you can't see through it. I've pulled the ribbon a bit tight there. But you don't need, you can't see through that if it's got a present in it. That's the medium size bag out the pattern. But that's more than enough. And most of the time, you give that to somebody, they're not going to go, oh, the inside pieces aren't finished. And if you wanted to, you could zigzag the inside seams, or you could use pinking shears and pink them. Yes, it's a very Scottish bag, Sherry. Donna's seen something about elephants. Thank you, Nikki. Yes, it's Norman's birthday tomorrow. I'm wondering if he'll actually make it out of bed tomorrow. He's been really ill with the flu. Christopher's got it now, and I'm exhausted running after backwards and forwards between them. But he's been really, really ill. It's not like him at all. So Jess is in the house. Hi, Jess. Oh, Sheila's Google. She's sharp on Google. Looks like they're based out of Manchester. Thank you, Sheila. Didn't know. Oh, Patty G's made 4 Christmas tree drawstring bags. Oh, I have got no sewing done this week, apart from when I was on Lisa's live on Friday. It's the only time I've been in this room all week. He is feeling slightly better, Nikki, but he's still in bed, still not the best colour. Last night I thought I was going to have to phone an ambulance for him. He got up, and it was the first time he's actually been up this week, and he went, the most hellish colour, grey. And he went, oh, I feel funny. And I said, what do you mean you feel funny? He went, I just feel funny. Then his hand went to his chest, and I thought, oh my God, is he having a heart attack or something? Got him to lie down, and then his colour came back after about half an hour, but it was a bit worrying. So yes, flu is not nice at all. Hi, Ellen. Welcome in. And I think I thought that was a different Donna in the house that somebody was saying. Oh, Sheila's talking about football. No football talk, Sheila. No, American football talk especially. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll get started on these quick bags. So sorry, I've started moving it. If you get seasick, motion sick, look away now. Here we go. So first of all, wrong sides together. And I'm just going to sew a 1/4 inch, roughly a 1/4 inch seam around it. I might cheat and put this foot on with the blade. Don't know where it's going. It's probably fallen off the back, but my seam guide's vanished. Lots of things disappear down the back, even though there's a table there. Oh yeah, there it is. I see it is down the back. Got it. That's what I was looking for. This helps line everything up. So you want to start sewing, and I need to mark it about 1 inch from the top. I'm going to get a bigger ruler. Bear with me. So about 1 inch from the top, because you're going, well, I would say 1.5 inches from the top, I think is a safer bet to stop sewing. There we go. I'm just going to sew all the way around the edge. And I've moved the seam guide. This isn't like my other one. My other one is like really magnetic, really strong. I'm not doing a proper 1/4 inch. I'm going to leave a, well, I will do a bit more than that. I want to leave a slightly bigger seam. You could zigzag this, as you know, or you could do one of the stitches that does the straight line and the zigzag to finish the seam. I'm just going to go for it and sew it. I've got that stitch which does a locking stitch. If you don't have that, I would do a reverse when you start this, because there is going to be some pressure on it. So it's probably a fat 1/4 seam allowance, not a 1/4 inch. We talk about a scant 1/4. Well, this is a fat 1/4. Just pivot. Oh, I got that right, actually. And I left the selvage edge on it because it was printed on. I know you're not supposed to, but I did. So I'll have all the quilt, please, after me now. I don't care. It's going to be on the seam anyway. It's not going to be getting washed to be, and it's printed on. And remember to stop when we get to the top at that mark. And another locking stitch. Right. So you've got a bag, kind of, but you've got these two bits. And what I'm going to do is we're going to press the seams open, and that's going to be the fold over to give a finished edge here. And then I'm just going to stitch it up, but I'm going to press it like that. So I'm going to move you back round so you can see the camera's moving now. Here we go. So I'm just going to press this seam open at the top. So that will fold this back. And I don't know if there's any new questions anybody's got. I don't know what, I know people have been having snow in America. It was lovely here today. And then as soon as the sun kind of went down, it was bitterly cold. Bitterly, bitterly cold. It felt like the temperature dropped about 20 degrees when the sun went down. That's squint. We don't want that. Just want that pressed back a little bit on each side at the top. Do the same on this side, press it back. Well, that wasn't pressing, was it? That was a damn good iron it got there. She was telling Joyty that she's going to do a table runner. Nikki took the dogs out before you're live. Wind is howling. I don't like the wind. How are your dogs in the wind, Nikki? Mine used to hate the wind. They didn't bother about thunder and lightning. They didn't bother about anything like that, but they hated the wind. I could never decide if it was because there was not enough smells or too many smells. So I'm just going to fold one edge back and I'm going to stitch down there, and then I'll do the same on the other side. I'll move you back round again. You'll be getting seasick tonight. I just want a wee edge stitch on that. Just to hold that back. And we'll do the same with the other side. I'm going to snip those threads off. I hate threads on things. Do this one. And I'll snip those threads. Oh, there's a long thread there that's got tangled up like a bird's nest, and I hate that on the back. If I do the locking stitch, I don't get that. If I don't do the locking stitch at the beginning, and I haven't had a leader around it or a thread bunny, then you get those stupid bird's nest things. So now we're just going to fold this back, turn you back round again. Squint there. Just going to fold this back, mark line, and press it straight across. And the other side, and press it. I'm going to just fold over probably about 1/2 inch. Not quite half, maybe, yes, about 1/2 inch. Just doing it by eye. I need to do this one the same amount. That's where it gets tricky. You're doing it, winging it. There we go. So you've got a bit like this on each side, front and back. And then I'm just going to put it on the machine and stitch all the way around. And that's it, that's the bag. So any questions? Vintage Joe's in the house. It's 48 and rainy, Donna. It's cold and windy, still snowing. Oh, 19 June, that's cold. That's really cold. Mona's getting more snow. She got a whole pile of snow yesterday. Norma's in the house. Evening, Norma. Or good night, depending on where you are. Might even be good morning. Sheila is made of soft stuff. When she came down the stairs this morning, it was 52 degrees and she put hand warmers in her slippers. Sheila, that's tropical here at this time of year. People go out with a coat on them and it's 52 degrees. Never mind hand warmers in the slippers. I'd be quite happy with 52 degrees at the moment. So I am just going to put this into the machine and I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn you back around so you can see what I'm talking about first. Take this one off and put this one on. So it's got the double fold, about 1/2 inch. What I am going to do is turn the bag quickly, because that's going to make it easier to see where I'm sewing. And I'll sew that on the inside. And I nearly completely cocked that up. In fact, I did. I'm not paying attention at all. So here, see it live. I've messed that up. I'm going to take a smaller bite of fabric. I mean, technically, there's nothing to stop you just folding it in half like that. You don't need to even finish that edge. But it does look a little bit nicer if it's finished. So I'm just going to use my little seam guide. And redo this seam so it's about 1/4 of an inch. Rather than the 1/2 inch that it was before. You just want it turned over, really. It's all twisted, doing well. There we go. And redo this side. And then fold it again. Instead of folding it down to the fold line I already had, I folded it from the fold line. So you wouldn't have actually been able to get I've got a thread there, you wouldn't actually have been able to get the cord in. So that was a nice brain fart. And you know, you can't say anything for the iron, but just give me 2 ticks. So for once I noticed that before I sewed the seam, because normally I notice these things after I sew the seam. Let's say just down to that opening, hold it back down. And press. It's always easier if you have it pressed. I think so. It's the same if I'm hemming trousers, or as you would say, pants in America. That if you press them first, it just makes it easier to sew. Evie laughed at me today. Apparently, she's watched some of my videos, and she said I've got my telephone voice on. I'm speaking properly. Oh yeah, Joe had a craft show. How did you do, Joe? Sherry's asking her. Oh, you sold some quilts. Great stuff. Chris is heading to 16 degrees. You've got a tiny bit of snow. That's cold. I must admit, I like the snow, but we don't tend to get tons and tons of snow. Nikki, I have to agree. I think Alaska looks great too, but I wouldn't want to live there. Hi, Candace. Welcome in. We went when the kids were small. We took them to Lapland to see Santa Claus one December, and it was cold and it was dark. It never got properly light. There was no proper daylight. You got twilight for maybe 3 or 4 hours. Not only if it was sunny and the sky was clear. If it was cloudy and overcast, it didn't get light at all. And I couldn't live there. Have that for. I know in the summer you've got the flip side. You've got the 24-hour daylight up in the Arctic, but I don't think I could cope with the darkness in the winter. That's just too much. They seem to have it pretty well set up. And sorry, I didn't tell you I was moving that camera. In Finland, they work longer hours in the winter, so they get more time off in the summer, and school and things in for longer hours in the winter. And I thought that was quite clever. They make the most of the daylight and the sunshine. So I'm just trying to work out where that needle goes out there. And I'm just going to sew all the way around. I can't believe I know, well, I can believe it actually. It's just quite like me. That I nearly folded that the whole way. It is a good idea to backstitch at the beginning and the end of this, because it will get some tension on it. So that's one side done, get the other side done, and that's the bag done. It just needs a wee quick press and cut. I'm going to cut these threads off before I fold that all over. 8 threads like that. Get them all there. Wouldn't it be great if you just had like a magic wand and you were like gone, and it snipped all these bits off for you? Yeah. Get this side done. Sorry if the bag was in the way and you couldn't see properly. And then get this side done. These things always take slightly longer than you think they're going to take. It's a bit wonky there, the seam. And I moved that, trying to move that thread out the way. It's all right, it's white thread on a white seam. It'll be fine. Snip all these threads away. And now I just need to thread the bag and give it a press. So I will turn you back again. I need to get another something else to use as a camera. Maybe see if I can get my old phone working. And this is a not bad size bag actually for a gift. You'd get a big book or a box of chocolates, or don't want that. I want that seam rolled a bit more. I don't want it. Get that corner poked out and I'll probably poke it through. That's usually my party trick. Oh, Nikki, your sewing room next to the garage, so it'll get cold in there. This room faces south. So it actually, even on a cold day, it can be quite warm if the sun's shining. But it that can make it too hot and uncomfortable. And it's got a big window, and because it's south facing, I can't keep any fabric out or it gets fade marks almost instantly. I love those sewing rooms, you know, when they've got their fabric out on display on the shelves. I couldn't have that here because everything would have big fade lines down it. So I bought this fabric years ago to make reusable gift bags, probably about 5 years ago, to make reusable gift bags for Norman. I never got round to it because he likes skiing. He goes skiing every year with his brothers. The iron, sorry. I did think that this was such a gimmick, having a light on this iron, and actually it's great. If you're not in the best light, you can see where you're going. So now I just need to put a cord or a ribbon in the top, so I need to find a ribbon. I'll get the ribbon box out. Oh. Actually, I've got some baker's twine there that might be quite nice in that bag. And it's quite thick baker's twine. I still haven't found my bodkin. I think I might have lent it to one of my friends, actually. I'm going to have to probably put a piece of sellotape on the end of this and tape it to the pin. That'll work. Then I'll find out that this safety pin isn't going to fit in this pocket. Just knew that was going to happen. These are all the safety pins I had for quilting when I used to pin baste before I got curved pins. I had packets and packets and packets of straight pins, which were absolute buggers to use, to be perfectly honest. There, this pin will fit. But you could do a bigger channel at the top if you wanted to have a nicer ribbon or cord. Got thread. Threads. You haven't gathered already. I'm always moaning about threads. Hi Terry, welcome. Hi Rita. So out one side, back up the other. I mean, you don't have to do two sides when you do, when you put the cord through the top. But I usually prefer to do it with the double cord. And that safety pin has opened in the channel. There. Right, try again. But if you're not stopping to talk, you can do one of these in about 15 minutes. Depends how fast you sew. If you don't make mistakes and have to repress it, that doesn't help much. I just keep pulling that through so I don't have to put tape on the other end. Measure it a little bit more. That will do. It's probably too much. Yes, it is. Let's cut this. And then we'll do the other way. And that'll be the bag done. Yeah, your gift bags don't need to be lined, and if you want, you could, as I say, you could do it with a serger. You could do a zigzag stitch. You could use pinking shears or a pinking blade to neaten them up, but you don't need to. People don't really care. I mean, I would probably line it and things if I was giving it to another quilter or somebody else that sewed. But if it was just for Joe Blogs, then I don't know if I would bother. Sheila's over the southeast coast. Nicky's talking to Brian about model trains. Rita's sick with the once in a while high humidity of desert living in southern Arizona. I want snow, just a short tour drive to the big ski resort where tons of snow and it's cold. Talking about train shops, model train shops. There's a model train shop in Manassas. I've been to that one. Because we had to get a model train version of the Christopher was little. We had to go on the double-decker train. Got that from Manassas into Washington, D.C. So then we went to the model shop in Manassas and got the model version of it for his train set at home. I had a big layout in the attic that Norman built for him. Not one of the ones with all the... I mean, there was a few models on it, but not one of these super things that, you know, have all the... It's 3D with the landscaping and everything. It wasn't one of those train sets like that. So yeah, that's a no pattern. Quick, easy. I'm going to snip off the bit with the sellotape. Gift bag that's just quick and easy with a fat quarter. No pattern. But I mean, you can do that with any size of fabric to make any size of gift bag. You could do it with a piece that's with the fabric and make a giant sack, but there's nothing wrong with that for a gift. You know, I've seen the way some people wrap, so I might put one of Norman's birthday presents in it because it doesn't have Santas on it. It's just got skiers and snow. That would save me a job tonight. Nikki's been to that shop. It has fabric and trains as that's close to Brian and my sisters. So where's your sister about, Nikki, that you're saying it's close to your Brian and your sister's house? Brian, we had the Lego Christmas train that went round the bottom of the tree, and the dogs never bothered it. I was quite surprised. I always thought they would go nuts over it, but they didn't bother it. But see, Lego have brought out a new Lego train. This one's blue and white. So yes, quick, easy, simple, but it covers a present. It doesn't have to be fancy and elaborate. And that's us just about at the hour. I would say the big one, because that'll make a nice big wide bag. But again, watch your fabric if it's directional, because you couldn't make a bag that way, which is the way you would kind of lean to with a fat quarter, having it the short sides top and bottom. You can't do that because the trees would be on their sides instead of this way. So it's going to be a big white, it's going to be a wide bag when I get it done. We have a thing in the town called Giving Trees, and it's for kids that won't get any Christmas presents. So I was going to make that one, and it'll fit the present that I've got to go in it. And I've picked a teenage boy, because teenage boys are always the ones that get left. Nobody wants to buy for teenage boys, because they're the most difficult to buy for. Pull my chair in, because it's on wheels, and I've got a carpet, so it doesn't like wheeling. So yeah, that's that. Quick, easy, no fuss, no nonsense. And it still took me an hour doing it on a live. It never takes me an hour doing it when I'm just sewing. She's in southern Maryland, in Lusby. And she lives in the bottom of Chesapeake Bay. Yes, Nikki, at 13, they like video games and money. They always like money. Unless you've got toddlers, and they're like cats, they like the empty boxes. The bigger, the better. So yes, that's kind of what I did tonight. Just a quick, simple bag. But it's good enough for a present to go in and to be covered up. I think sometimes we make life difficult for ourselves and make things fancier than they need to be. And sometimes it's nice to make a fancy bag, like the Christmas tree ones, but sometimes you just need a bag to cover a present. And I am sort of getting to the idea of having bags so that I don't need to wrap things up in paper. And I'm not going to wrap them and then put them in the bag. They're just going in the bag. That defeats the purpose. Yes, tweens are not fun to buy for. Especially boy tweens. Girls are much easier in their teens. Unless there's something that he's into. Like if he still likes Lego or he still likes whatever, there's a thing he's into, or they do a sport or something and they want stuff for that. But it's not easy to buy for tween boys. It's not easy to buy for teen boys either. Thank you, Sheila. Yes, Joe, bags are better than wrapping. But a lot of people make the reusable gift bags and then wrap the present and put it in the gift bag. Like, no, I'm just going for straight in the bag. Because I used to make, I've got, you put a present, sometimes you'd wrap a present and then put it in a nice gift bag, paper one, if you were giving it to somebody, and then I would maybe wrap it. But for in the house, I want to get rid of paper and just do wrapping. Joyce just gets them all gift cards other than the babies. Yes, Sheila, most of us would like fabric and cash. I have been told by my son that I'm not getting any fabric again. I have a problem and he's not going to enable it. And I don't think he was joking when he said it, which is quite sad. Yeah, I usually normally use the cheap gift bags too, Nikki, and I just give them to people. But in the house, I would quite like to, instead of spending hours wrapping everybody's presents, just have bags like that and just pop the presents in the bags. I have some, and every year I make a few more. And then the idea is that one year I'll not need any wrapping paper for the family presents. They'll all just get put in a bag, shove it in, pull it tight, shove it in, pull it tight, and that's it, done. Yes, Nikki, sometimes use tissue paper. But the kind of point of the reusable gift bags is so that cut out the paper. So, well, that's why I'm doing it, is to cut out the paper. And I only give the bags to people that I can say, I want the bag back. Usually. So, immediate family, they know that the bags get left here for next year. They're not going to take them away. Especially not at the price of fabric. What? Yes, Ellen, that's a good idea. You can get me a gift card and I can enable my own habit. I don't think they would have a problem with that, actually. They were very proud of themselves this year because they've done their Christmas shopping. And for family. And I'm like, you've only got about each other to buy for me and Norman. And then my mum and dad, it's like, you've only bought like 4 presents. 5 presents. That's not an achievement. Nikki's mum doesn't like bows. The Gap boxes have become a tradition. Sheila made gift bags, gift tags years ago. Well, I actually meant to do that and I forgot, so I'll maybe do that on Wednesday because I've got fabric and I've got the tags to match the Christmas tree ones. Got the scraps of fabric, I've got the tags, they're ready to go when I get the trees done. so that it's got a matching bag and tag. But this one here, my plan for this one is I have got two things, and it'll depend what mood I'm in. And I've put one of them away, I think. Maybe. Where have I put? I think so. I never think so. I've got little bells and I've lost them. Or I've got these little mini pom-poms, and I thought they'd be nice to decorate the tree. But if I use the pom-poms, I'll need to glue them on. But if I do the bells, I'll stitch them on. But even little buttons, if you had mini buttons, they would also work to decorate the bag to look like baubles on the tree. Oh no, here they're down here. I've got two sizes, they're the bigger ones. And then I've got tiny, tiny ones. I'll turn that around and you can see it. So you could put the bells on. And this one has been threaded onto metallic thread. Oh. And I'll find the end of it somewhere. And you could actually start at one corner and just go across the tree. You could go round the back, but you could go backwards and forwards, zigzagging it down the tree with the little bells to decorate it. And just do the stitches at the corners and zigzag that up and down the tree if you wanted on the cord. Or, I mean, you could go right round the bag. You could just use, because these are tiny bells, these ones are really cute. Stitch them on, and then these ones jingle. These ones are just decorative, but they're cute. But you could put them on like baubles on the tree. And the pom-poms actually look quite cute. And I would just glue the pom-poms on, probably with a hot glue gun. To be perfectly honest, I wouldn't try and stitch them on. But it just kind of lifts it up. And the felt bag's easy because I didn't turn it and things. I just stitched it and pinked it. And there, you would just have they all seem to be pink. Picked all the pink ones out. Decorate the tree. There you go. If you want to lift it to another level, or if you can't be bothered, I nearly said if you can't be arsed. But I did just so it didn't matter. If you can't be bothered, then you could just use the pom-poms and glue them on. You could glue the bells on too, to be perfectly honest. There's the other lid. This lid's not dusty, it's just yucky because it's still got the sticky stuff on it. But yeah, you can pimp it up a bit. Dicky's mum doesn't like bows. Brian has some fabric. He's thinking of wrapping an empty box and using it as a decoration under your tree. Yes, that's a good idea. I've got a friend that did that. She wrapped up big boxes and just put them under her tree, and it looked really nice. Nikki made gift tags, but she thinks they got pitched. It's a whole jar of pom-poms, Sheila. A whole jar of pom-poms. Shalom fell asleep. That's all right. Shalom Saturdays are meant for napping. I had a nap this afternoon, probably about the same time that you slept. But thanks for jumping in at the end. Patty thinks the bells are perfect. Shalom saying hi to everybody. So yeah, you could string the pom-poms. But you can pimp them up and then get them back off everybody and reuse them next year. So I probably wouldn't put the pom-poms and things. I'd maybe, if I was going to do it on that one, I'd do gold bells just or something. But I think for the green felt, or if you had set just a solid fabric, it would look nice with the pom-poms and things. And then these skiers. So that's today's thing. So I'm going to head off now. Oh, here's Mona. Hi, Robin. You're watching from vacation. Wait, oh, you're in Hawaii, aren't you? I'm jealous. What are you doing watching me when you're in Hawaii? I do appreciate it, but Hawaii, how lovely, especially at this time of year. Oh, I would like to be in Hawaii. Like to go to a nice Pacific island. A Pacific island, not a specific island. So that's me. Thank you, Nikki. I hope he's feeling a bit better for his birthday too. Robin's just resting. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday, Robin. So yes, that I say another quick, easy project. Doesn't take too much brain power. Easy to do. Not a lot of effort, and it looks quite nice. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I didn't realise how squint the other camera was. Sorry. Yeah, that's a bit better. You've been all watching it like this. So I'm going to head off, and thank you again for tuning in, giving me your time, and make someone smile, say something appropriately inappropriate. We all need a bit of inappropriateness in our lives at the moment. And I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.